One of the things shotguns get a lot of hate for is the idea that you don't have to aim. Whether or not you agree, it's definitely something people will spout out about them. But what if I told you there are ways to kit out the SMGs where you also don't have to aim? And it is much, much worse than shotguns are at this point. So today, I'm going to share with you guys the secret to winning close range gunfights with ease. Never aim again with this hipfire focused Lachmann sub build, and it is absolutely bananas. First, here is the build itself. You can screenshot this. You can follow me on the marvelous community app that I use quite a bit now. It's such a great tool to use if you play Warzone. I'm going to go ahead and sort of hop into the details of this build, talk about it, and show you guys exactly what you should be looking out for when kitting this thing out. And you think I'm joking when I say this will help you guys win most of your close range gunfights with ease, but I absolutely am not. I promise you, I can't believe these builds or even this particular build aren't more prevalent for straight up CQB because it's easy mode, and I don't know, maybe this video will change that. So the stats you want to be mainly looking at when you kit these things out are you want to be looking at the hipfire accuracy stat in the gunsmith, which equate to on sim.gg, shout out to them, to minimum hipfire spread and maximum hipfire spread. So anything that helps with hipfire accuracy generally helps with both of those. And then you also want to look at anything that helps your moving hipfire spread, which is what it's called on sim.gg. In game on the gunsmith, it's called hip recoil control. These are the ones you want to focus on, primarily on max and moving hipfire spread though. As always I do want to give credit to sim.gg, and not only that, but give credit to the Discord members over there at the sim.gg Discord. It's a fantastic community. They were all super great in helping me figure this stuff out, and it's just a great community of great people that any COD player should definitely consider joining, especially if you guys use their site or if you like to nerd out about gun builds and gun stats and all that good stuff. So what exactly are max and min hipfire spread? Well, max hipfire spread can essentially be thought of as when you shoot your gun and the gun's hipfire reticle starts to open up, or when you start to move around and the reticle begins to open up as well. Now, the smaller the max hipfire spread is, the smaller this area will be, and it won't grow that large, making your shots go more where you aim than all over the place. Minimum hipfire spread is the spread of when you're standing still or when your gun is ready to shoot before you begin actually shooting. Now, as you shoot, it does expand, so minimum hipfire spread is really only great for the first few shots. Now, moving hipfire spread, also known as hip recoil control in game, of course, is when you're moving around. So out of them, max and moving are the ones you really want to look out for when building the hipfire builds. Typically, smaller barrels will help with moving and max hipfire spread, but hurt min. But don't worry, there are ways to combat it with lasers, grips, stocks, etc. Bigger barrels usually will help with your minimum hipfire spread, but really hurt max hipfire spread. And attachments to look out for to really help with a tight spread, primarily both stationary and moving, are things like the lasers, like the .G3P laser, smaller barrels, like in this case the Lachmann pulsar barrel. They usually boost speed and hurt recoil. Any sort of stockless option usually helps with the hip recoil control. And then two magical grips that I've used before, which are the VX Pineapple and the Bruin Warrior grip. Now, these two grips help with your hipfire accuracy overall with the min and max values, and you can also tune them to give you an even better hipfire spread, which is the real sort of icing on the cake with these things. As for which one you should be using, they both help the same when it comes to your spread, but the Bruin Warrior grip hurts your aim down sight speed by a little bit less than the VX Pineapple, but the VX Pineapple gives you less recoil overall. So typically I would go for the VX Pineapple because we're not really going to focus on aiming down sights. I mean, come on, we're just spraying, praying an SMG here. That's what we're focusing on, so we don't really need the aim down sight speed. Instead, focus on the recoil control, so use the VX Pineapple. Now, the last attachment I put on there was the 40 round mag. You probably want to stick with the 40. You can do 50 if you want. I just like to be a little bit more mobile. It just seems to work really well. You could always swap that out if you're a demon and you could use less rounds. Use something like an ammo type that you want to give the enemy more flinch or something like that. Anything works, but I would say stick with the 40 round mag. As for my overall thoughts on this build, this is absolutely absurd. I really didn't think it'd be this effective, but it's kind of crazy because when you have a gun like this where you don't really need to aim down sights, you have such a clear visual sight picture of people that it boggles my mind that people haven't really used this because it's so effective. People who drop shot, you can effectively kill them so easily because usually when you aim down sights and they drop shot, they typically dip down below where your gun would be or your sight, so they kind of like disappear and you have to adjust really well. And sometimes that gets you killed, but with this, it's so much easier to do when they drop shot. And of course, if you're on controller, you have rotational aim assist. you can just absolutely dominate lobbies with a build like this, and I'm not even kidding. The first game I tried this, I got maybe like 17 or 18 kills in Resurgence, and then I got like a 25 kill win with Resurgence solos with this thing. I'm telling you guys, this is a build you need to try out. Even if you're a shotgun fiend like me, try it out, because if you like hip firing, this is going to be a build you cannot pass up. And yes, this I believe is a contender for some really quality meta builds, because it's just so absurdly easy to use. I think this thing could sort of creep its way into some meta builds for a lot of people. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm hyping this thing up more than I need to, but I encourage you guys to try and let me know what you think. That being said, it's a super great build. You can kit out other SMGs and guns the same way and you'll get some awesome results. But the Lachmann sub is a top tier SMG, and this build, in my opinion, super top tier. Now, I do want to let you guys know, of course, I'm still the shotgun guy. I'm not just like switching over to SMGs or anything. No, I just like to mix in a few things here and there. Shotguns are going to be my home base, so if you like shotgun content, if you like any sort of Call of Duty content, make sure to stick around. This is the one-stop shop for any shotgun related classes or anything like that. But with that being said, guys, let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about this build in particular? What do you think about me covering an SMG finally? Are you excited for my next shotgun build, which is probably going to be on the Lockwood 300? And with all that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.